All right. Let's wait for 3 minutes, another 3 minutes, then we'll begin the session. So Tommy, EJ still holding. Where did you short? Tommy, where's your entry? Just a moment. You don't even remember your entry. Yeah. If I have a position holding, I know the specific price level. And by the way, how's all of your December plan? Any of you traveling on Christmas? Ray say mine is 163.10, 162.07, 63. Oh, Dennis, you're going to Bangkok as well? Horace is going to Bangkok, but I think Horace is not traveling on Christmas, right? Horace, are you traveling on Christmas? Ray, 163.10. Oh, okay. 162.07. Ah, beautiful entry. 161.96. Oh, wait, so you're going to Bangkok then Phuket, is it? 163.37. Well, Tommy, your entry is beautiful. Yeah, you entered almost at the high. So I think you can just hold on to your position. Anyway, I'll go into details later, but such a beautiful entry. And good patience as well, Tommy. You shorted on Thursday, should be on Thursday, right? And held it all the way through. Yeah. Let me take a picture again. 37. Okay, let's begin our weekly meeting. All right. So news-wise, so this week we have some Aussie news on Wednesday. So Aussie CPI. Apart from that, not much. All right. So we got pound prelim GDP. That's not the main one. So normally it's medium impact. PCE, yeah, sometimes we do see some spikes. Other than that, that's not the real FOMC, guys. So don't worry about it. So normally this one we won't have any impact. This week should be a good week to trade. Not much news affecting price action. So DXY, we are breaking to the upside. So we are officially showing breakouts above 106.60. And that's one of the reasons why I've not been trading the dollar pass as well. Actually, on Thursday, on I think Wednesday and Thursday, some of you texted me, asked me if you can sort of go short on the dollar pass, for example, short the dollar cat or long on the counter dollar. I told all of you, when price is sort of squeezing the resistance or when we're consolidating at a such major high, it's much better to just step away. And you see, right now we're breaking up, and it seems like we are expecting more selling pressure on the cross dollar pairs as well. Pound dollar is looking extremely weak since the break below. Since the break below this 128.24, we just dropped all the way. Euro dollar extremely weak, but I couldn't find it set up. And I was wrong. Just to share with all of you, I was wrong about this part. When I saw price rejected the 105.12 major support. If you look at the daily time frame, you can see a clear major support here at 105.20. I was expecting to see some bounce back to the upside. Did totally not expect the DXYs to be so strong. That's one of the reasons why I thought, hey, maybe euro dollar has a chance to bounce back up. But right after I see price rejected the 106.08, if you look at this retest here, see that? We actually talked about it on our setups breakdown as well. Right after I saw the rejection at here and I saw a bad flag formation, I know it's just weak. although I didn't short it because it's not something within my trading plan, within my game plan. Because one of my criteria is when I'm looking to go short, I don't want to be shorting against such a major support. So that's the reason why I decided, hey, I won't be taking the bear flag short because price position wasn't the best. And right now, if I'm looking to trade EU, I can say, yeah, as prices has officially broken below this major support at 105.20, maybe there's a chance for you to go short. But our focus this week won't be on the dollar pairs. I would like to talk about the yen pairs again. So we will correct on the yens, although I still want to share some flip side scenario here. On a daily, we haven't quite see a break below this 194 support. So if you go on to the weekly, you can actually see that right now, pound yen is on a major structure. Yeah. So we'll see if price can break below this 194.35, and we will decide and see, are we looking to continue going short or are we going to temporarily step away? Because no matter what, this is still a weekly major support, this 194.33. And one of the reasons why I am bearish on the cross yens in the short term is because on the yen index, can you see how we formed multiple rejection candle on the weekly? All right, so this is also a potential reversal signal back to the upside. And that's some of the reasons, some of the thought process why I think in the upcoming probably a month until next year, we are expecting some strength on the yen index because of this massive rejection on the weekly on the yen index. So if this goes up, that means we are likely to see more weakness on the cross yens. Again, pound yen, let's see, are we going to close back below? And if you're looking to trade, I would say the current price point is a fairly good value area to go short because we are right breaking below. If I just remove this zone here, you can actually see we have broken below this intermediate structure at 195.64. We attempted to hold back above, dropped all the way back down. Our first potential entry will be 195.65, which is a deeper pullback, a continuation to the downside. There will be a valid TPF as well. However, on the flip side, we also have quite a major swing point at 193.20. So if let's say we see a pullback, I will go short. Or if I see a further continuation to the downside, I'm happy to go short as well. Why do I not? I'm more flexible on this because no matter either way, my price position is still very good. If let's say I couldn't see a retest into 195.65, I see a direct breakdown below 193.15, which is here. My price position is still good because the potential room to the downside is massive. That again, this will depends on how yen index performs. But anyway, that's both two scenarios on pound yen. Euro yen, same thing as well. Do I think price will pull back into 163.60? I don't think so. So if you're looking for a second entry on Euro yen, I believe we are likely to just continue pushing lower. If you're not sure about how to get in terms of price action, you can simply use the fib. If you use the fib, you can see that there's one zone here at 162.67. This also coincides with some of the swing high, especially this one here. So that's our first potential entry. Same thing, if price continues pushing lower, then we might have to look for a chase on the sell. Either way, our price position is still good because the downside potential is still massive. So Shenrong said, I'm so glad I'm seeing the same thing as well. GJ, EJ, I'll be eyeing on this week. Yeah. Mainly GJ, EJ, Aussie yen, not really. If you remember on our setups breakdown, I did mention that among pound yen and euro yen, Aussie yen was the only pair that We haven't seen a breakdown. We haven't seen a breakdown yet because we only have one clean support, which is 99.70. Unless we see a break below 99.70, Aussie yen is still ranging. So am I interested right now to participate on Aussie yen? Probably not. In terms of structure, I would still prefer euro yen or pound yen. Both of them have already broken below, are already showing signs of rejection. So let's see. GA is also something I'm looking to potentially sell. My focus will still be on the yens, but I'm sharing GA and EA in case some of you are interested. If you look at the daily on pound Aussie, same thing, multiple attempt to break above this 198.80 high, and we just failed, failed once, twice, three times. Then this intermediate structure here at 196.90 failed again. We even broke below this 195.10. And that's how I identified a rollover. So this is a potential rollover. And right now, if you're looking for a potential entry, there's only one possible entry from my standpoint, because we have already done a TPF here. If I just to show all of you, we have already done sort of a TPF, not the perfect, it's not a perfect TPF. But when I see price breaking below an intermediate structure, I know price is likely to not go back. So another entry will be at 193.28, which is this swing high zone. All right. So we'll be expecting pound Aussie to be dropping as well. And it makes sense because when you do a simple correlation analysis, just a comparison, you can see that the Aussie is just a lot stronger. Or if you want, you can even pull up the AXY, which is the Aussie index. You can actually see that Aussie index, we are holding this support, right? But let's not look into the pound index. I just want to make it more complicated. But if you do a comparison, you see pound yen is dropping lower, but Aussie yen we're still holding. So just from this simple correlation analysis, you know the Aussie is just a lot stronger. So if Aussie is strong, pound is weak, it makes sense to see pound Aussie to drop. The same thing goes to Euro Aussie. See why EA is dropping is because Aussie is just strong, Euro is just weak. Right? Same thing if you compare Euro yen to Aussie yen, same stuff as well. Euro yen is dropping, but Euro yen is dropping, but Aussie yen is still holding. So Shenrong asked, what price positioning for these pair not as ideal? Because considering daily has many days of consistent red candles, not really. I don't like, a lot of people they will tell you, oh, I saw price forming 3 red days in a row. I wouldn't participate onto the sell. To me, is quite BS because 3 red candle doesn't mean anything. Price positioning is where is the current price or your ideal entry price in relevant to the major swing high, swing low. So if let's say I were to short, okay, just imagine this. If I were to short GA here at 193.30, the potential downside is still 170 pips. So in terms of price positioning, it's not bad. And if let's say this is a major level, this is a minor level, the major one is going to be at this 189.60. So from this area, measure it all the way down to 189.64, it's not bad. You get it, Shinro? So when you're trying to measure price position, don't look at how many red candles, how many green candles do we have. It's about what's the potential, is the breathing room, is the cushion. Sometimes you have 3 candles in a row, but what if price is still right at the major high, a multi-month high? Are you not going to short it just because price show you 3 red candle? Not really. One of your main concern will always be what's the potential risk reward, right? If the potential risk reward is there, even if you have one shot, one attempt, two attempt, both of them are lost. When the win comes, it's still a good position. All right. So GA, not bad for a short. Unless we see some odd price action, pushing price back up into 195.50, then maybe market is just ranging here. But I don't think so. Yeah, judging from the current Aussie strength, the pound weakness, and also the euro weakness, I believe quite a high chance we're going to expect EA and GA to continue dropping. Same thing here on EA. See this area here. If let's say price pulls back into 160, 178, it's not bad to go short, right? It's also a potential rollover. We actually talked about this rollover for a very long time, but every time when price either comes back to this 160, 162 or come back into this 160.24, we just push back up. But the more time price failed to break this major resistance, the higher the chance we're going to see a massive sell-off, right? Because right now we can say we are on a distribution phase. Are we going to reverse all the way back up? There's a possibility there. But based on the amount of failure to the upside, I believe the downside potential is higher. So that's it for the setups breakdown. And obviously for our weekly game plan this week, my main focus will be on GJ and EJ. GA and EA, if some of you are looking for short, I do think these are both A plus qualities as well. Any question or any pair you would like me to break down? I'll talk about ES in a bit. One of our traders not here. She actually requested. So pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi is looking strong. Daily looks like a bull flag to me. Right? Why would I not try to go short on this kind of price action? Because the consolidation is too tight. It's way too tight. Right? If I were to go short on this, my main concern would be how long the consolidation would be. See that? Super tight. And again, over price action, we are still showing a bull flag. See this? Really wouldn't try to go short on this unless we see a melt. Then I'll try to trade on the right side of the V. Okay. So Panos, not something interesting on GU EU, no. Not really looking at pound dollar and euro dollar. Right. If you compare price position, you know these two are really poor price position. So dollar Swiss, let's have a look. What's your thought process, Heng, on dollar Swiss? Looking bullish for now, extremely bullish, especially on a weekly, crossed above the EMAs, both the EMAs. So if you were to ask me to trade dollar Swiss, I don't really trade dollar Swiss, but there is a potential long opportunity if price came back to retest this point 88.49 level. 88.49. 89.06. Why 89.06? Why not this major one? Maybe you haven't looked at the weekly, is it? I'm quite sure you didn't look at the weekly. Yeah, because 89.8906 should be some lower time frame level. You mean this retest? Is it? I think Heng, you're looking at this BNR, right? But to me, I'm not so interested. I'll personally still focus on this 0.8850 area because it's such a major level. See that? Yeah. Was looking at the daily swing. Yeah. So similar view. Hey, I'm also bullish on dollar Swiss, but I'm looking for more deeper retracement. You're looking for shallow retracement. So Tommy say Hong Kong 50. I saw a major break. Is it potential for where's the major break? Where's the BNR? Can you specify the level? We are breaking record here. 44 people on our Zoom. Anyway, thanks for all of you for joining the session. It's your precious Sunday night, especially for those in Asia. Spending our precious Sunday night here, looking at the chart. Yeah, speed dinner, talking about the market. So I saw from H4. Oh, Yaroslav morning here. Yeah. Yeah, Roslav is always here. Every single week I see you on our meeting. Yeah, lots of dedication. Jeffrey as well. Horace as well. But I know a lot of times Horace actually go AFK away from keyboard. Yeah. Horace thought I don't know. I can feel it. You are just coincidentally here. I know most of the time you're doing something else. Yeah. Tommy, what's the BNR you're talking about? Can you can you post a chart in the chat? You mean this one? Do you mean this BNR? Is it? Tommy, do you mean this 18,750 level? Yeah, I actually saw the Hang Seng as well. I think it's quite weak. Yeah, my view on the HK50, yeah, it's just weak. Okay, okay. So Tommy's talking about this break and retest. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, he's talking about this one, the really minor one. But one thing I will suggest you is if you want to go short there, just make sure it's more of a short-term trade because on a daily we actually have a massive swing low around 18,720. So if let's say you were to go short, because if all of you look at the chart Tommy sent in the chat and I was on our Zoom chat, he was talking about this BNR. And yes, it makes sense. You can do it, but just make sure you close full when price hit this $18,800 mark because it's dangerous. All right. This kind of major support better be, better play safe. And let's see if price breaks below this 18,750, then probably we're going to just drop all the way back. I won't be surprised to see that as well, because if you really look at the HK50, it does seems like we are more of in a range as well. So I won't be surprised to see price actually break below 18,800. And if that's the case, then welcome to the weak Hong Kong again. Recently, we have a lot of Hong Kong traders here. I'm not sure. But, but yeah, anyway, it's looking very weak. Any other question? Um, so Sean said, not good. I own a little bit of Baba and Tencent. You're 19 years old and you tell me you invested in Baba and Tencent. Well done. Really, really well done. 19 years old, I don't think I even think about investing in stocks though. Next level. Really on the next level. So Dennis saying, what would be your view on dollar CAD given that it's holding above 139.45.6? Uh, dollar CAD. 139.49.6 for 45.6. Is this, you mean this high, right? What's my view? Would I go long here? I would say that's not normally how I like to trade my BNR setup. What I can say is if, okay, my ideal POI, my entry level will still be this major this major support level. I don't really like trade BNR when I feel like there's only one touch point. I think I talked about this on our BNR lesson as well. When I see only one touch point here, it just doesn't give me, enough confidence to put in big risk. But as opposed to this one, if I know that this is a major support, price has shown multiple times of defending this area. Right now, we broke above. That will give me more confidence to go in. to the position. Make sense, Dennis? So if you want to trade a BNR at that 139.55, you can do it. But my suggestion is I believe you're going to see some consolidation because this dollar CAD is quite overstretched as well. Frankly speaking, you see, from the low of the leg all the way up, we actually ran up for nearly 700 pips. Within how long? Within 2 months, 1.5 to 2 months. So it's almost parabolic. We can already call this a parabolic uptrend. So I won't be surprised to see a deeper pullback, Dennis. That's my thought process. I won't really try to go long here. I'll be more keen to go long if it does pull back into 138.63. Okay. Any more question? Gold? Was about to say gold. Yeah, gold is looking extremely. Yeah, Eric answered for me. Is looking extremely bullish. When gold came back to this 26.12, I was expecting maybe we're going to see another at least another retest into 25.46. But no, we just completely broke to the upside. And Horace caught along on Thursday or Friday, I think. Yeah, he passed his evaluation by catching the long. Overall, is just extremely strong, really, really strong. And if you were to ask me how to trade gold right now, is difficult. Right? It's difficult. Entry wise, there's no possible entry unless you tell me you want to chase this BNR at 27.11, which is not how I would trade. All of you know I don't like to catch something like that. It's not that you cannot do it, but in terms of the RR, your price position measurement, everything is just a little bit off. So not something I would trade. Yeah. Any setup? Any pair you would like me to discuss? NQ. Sure. Wait, give me 1 second. Sorry if I keep taking picture. I just want to record down the growth of our trade club. So NQ, let's talk about MNQ, technically the same thing. So it's looking extremely, and I won't say extremely, but it's looking bullish. But at the same time, there's two different perspectives for you to look at the MNQ. So the first perspective is we are just on a complete consolidation. That's the first perspective. Second perspective, you can also say that we are potentially forming a bear flag. But if you were to ask me to go short here or take any position here, I wouldn't be too comfortable because if you drop down to the 2 hour, just look at how messy this piece of price action is. If this is really a bear flag, the main signal will be a break below this 27.50. So if you do see a break below 27.50, that would be a good sign to go short because we are forming first of all, we're forming a bear flag. At the same time, we are also forming a big picture TPL. See that? So it all depends on whether are we going to hold above or below this 27.50 level. So I won't be interested to take any position outside of this zone because it's just slow. So Cyrus, if you are looking to trade, short term wise, I'll be expecting some selling pressure on the MNQ, the NQ. We'll pay attention to 27.50. All right, let's see if it's a bad flag. If it's not, if it continues breaking above, that means we're wrong. Yeah. So, Shengrong say, I think you already mentioned it, but just confirming AJ and CJ have to wait for a breakdown to downside. Yes, correct. Yeah. So Jesse said, just saw I got a front trend buy on a minimum 5 hour trade today. Yeah. So let's talk about the last one, which is the ES. One of our trader requested me to do a breakdown ES. Is looking strong, especially when price broke above this 59.52, extremely strong. But is it something that I will trade right now? Not really. All right. Sometimes when you see a price action that goes like this, like this, like this, one thing I do consider is, are we going to enter a slow market, or what the so-called volatility contraction period? Because when you see price, moving more of a choppy or channeling way, then you pretty much can anticipate that you are not going to capture some bigger move unless we see some random, breakout to the upside. But normally, I just try to avoid it. Um, Not something I will touch, right? Unless we break the high, then obviously you are looking to go long. But for now, price position is quite awkward, right? It's in between of this out of nowhere area. Going short, you are betting against the major resistance. Sorry, going long, you're betting against the major resistance around 6,000 mark. Going short, you don't have any evidence as well, no confirmation. All right, so ES, ugly price action. Anything else? So for those who are late today, just do a quick recap again. We are expecting some sell on the yens again, but this week we won't really be focusing on Aussie yen unless we see a break below this 99.70 major support. Right now we're in the middle of the range. EJ looking weak as we broke below this 163.59, continue pushing lower. If you're looking for potential entry, there's two-way. Either you wait for a pullback into 162.63, or you just simply have to wait for a breakdown, then look to participate on a break and retest. Pound yen is looking weak. Two scenario, either if we do see a pullback, I will definitely be looking to short pound yen around 195.65. If we break below 193.15, I'll be looking to go short as well. All right. Question? EJ Fib Zone SSE. You mean this one from the high to low? Yeah. Yeah, if you were to go short. That would be the perfect entry. But sometimes price, it's not like we will always see the pullback, but that's the perfect entry. Yeah. Question? Seems like everyone's prepared here. So if no question, wait, Dennis say something outside of the chart. Do you consider central bank interest rate differential as a factor for currency pair bullish bearish? I don't really care too much about the fundamental and all these stuff. Yeah. For people who know me long enough, especially if you've been inside for 1 year, half a year above, I care nothing about all these fundamental things. To me, they're just pure distraction. Everything on the macro level has already been priced in. That's always been, something that I believe after trading for so many years. So Kiwi dollar, Isaac asks Kiwi dollar for potential short. Let's have a look. Yeah, but Kiwi dollar out of all the dollar pairs is probably the ugliest looking one if you're looking to go short. Yes, we indeed broke below this major support, but look at this. It's so awkward. In terms of price position, it's so awkward. We are right between that 0.5850 and that 0.58 major multi-month, multi-year, I can say 2023 low. So yeah, not something I would trade, Isaac. I'm not interested on this. No, Shengrong, I didn't say CPI on Aussie red folder is not something I don't care. I say that I was trying to say the FOMC meeting minutes. Where is it? FOMC meeting minutes is not something that I will care. All right, and the prelim GDP. Aussie CPI is high. Um, it is high impact. Shengrong. Yeah. So Horase, I think out of the cross dollar pairs, GU has more potential. Yes, I agree as well. GU is probably the cleanest one. Euro dollar is not bad as well. Euro dollar is not bad. Pound dollar is not bad as well because yeah, I see the downside potential. Euro dollar, the downside potential is there as well. But for Kiwi dollar, if you just do a simple comparison here, just look at Kiwi dollar. Look at this. Like you are technically shorting at the low, the lowest point. So Isaac, this is something you have to really study as well. When you're trying to look for some setup, don't just look at how can I say like one dimension. You need to actually compare with similar setup, similar pair, and see are you really choosing that right one. And that's why we have lessons on pair selection, right? Choosing the right pair will make your life so much easier. But sometimes, no matter how much effort you put into correlation study, comparing different pairs. Like for example, I showed up Aussie yen last week, right? Aussie yen didn't move, Euro yen and pound yen moved. But you can also debate that it was not the best choice to short Aussie yen, considering we are still within the range. Because my thought process this week was I was expecting Aussie yen to at least the bare minimum expectation was to see Aussie yen come back to this 99.70 low. But guess what? If I were to simply, focus on pound yen where we saw the break below structure, or if we look at euro yen, we have already formed a valid, it's not the, again, it's not a perfect TPF, but you can actually see we sort of formed a TPF here with 163.61 as our neckline, as our shoulder zone. I could have just focused on EJ and GJ. And many of you who shorted EJ and GJ actually have secured over 5R. I know so many of you shorted GJ and EJ this week, made some profits. But for me, I shorted AJ, I only made about 2R. Yeah, so, but still don't neglect the power of pair selection, Isaac, because when you choose the right pair, you're 50% back ahead. Yeah. So, Steven, how about AU setup? Looking strong? For now, not really. Yeah, not really interested. It's looking quite weak, frankly, unless we break above here. Unless we break above that 0.6540. Otherwise, I think AU, we are still on a bearish market. Yeah. So, for CPI, no, if let's say a Sheng Rong, if it's Aussie CPI, you're trading other pairs, just trade it. It's not related. Aussie CPI is talking about Aussie. But dollar CPI, why is it more high impact? It's because we're talking about the dollar, the leader of the currency. And that's why when we see major news like dollar GDP, dollar CPI, the FOMC, all these will ultimately affect other currency because they're just the boss. Just imagine dollar is the boss. So not sure if they are the same. I have hallucination that dollar news are always most impactful. Of course, dollar is more impactful. It's impossible that today Hong Kong dollar is more impactful than the US dollar, right? It's the same logic. Dollar is the leader, right? So any other question? Yeah, that clears up my confusion. Thank you. Yeah, well, you're welcome, Shengwang. But still, I have to compliment Sheng Rong, as a, I don't like to keep mentioning that he's 19 years old, but for someone at 19 years old with this amount of passion in trading, oh, insane. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, imagine all of you if you were this passionate in trading at 19 years old, so far, so much ahead of everyone else. Crazy. So Eric actually replied to Shenrong say, I would advise you to see examples of historical data, look at past CPI news and look at the effect. Yes, exactly. Like sometimes some of you come to me and say, hey Neil, is Aussie CPI high impactful? Why have some of you not thought of doing your own uh, data checking? Just go back in the past and just, Voice Factory allows you to go back, 2 years ago. Why not just yeah, you can like Horace say, you can also turn on the past event on trading view. Like why don't you just put in a bit of effort to do the work? It's not so difficult. Because many of you are over relying on me as well. I know many of you, whenever you have anything, you just text me. As much as I always love to help all of you, there are some of the things you have to really put in the work. Like this kind of simple question, like, oh, is FOMC high impact? Go back to FOMC in the past and check the impact of the news. Then you know yourself. Instead of me telling you, you can simply go back and check yourself. It's much more fulfilling as well. Sarah say, do we have any intraday trading session this week? What do you mean by intraday trading session? Not really. To me, I'm not session based. I'm opportunity based. Yeah. Oh, you mean casual meeting, Cyrus? Do you mean casual meeting? Ah, what a fancy way to describe casual meeting. Intraday trading session this week. That's very fancy. Almost got me confused. All right. I'm glad Eric. I'm glad Eric stood up and say casual meeting. This week probably yes. I'll see. Should be on Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. Any more question? Nope. If no, then okay. But win. Here comes. Okay. Hey Neil, can I ask your opinion on taking small R when you add a drawdown? I know you've been talking about it before and not closing the winners early. And this is something that I always share is when you're on a drawdown, right? You need to do an assessment, which is whether if the drawdown is a healthy drawdown, is a supposed drawdown, or is it an unhealthy drawdown? Toxic drawdown will be you taking random trade, you tilt trading, or you run trade, you do stupid things. That's the bad drawdown. But if you're on a healthy drawdown, I see no reason why you should, quickly grab 1R. Because one thing that a lot of people teach is many gurus on the internet will tell you, oh, when you're on a drawdown, reduce your risk. As much as I do agree, by reducing your risk, it does protect your mental capital a little bit because you are less involved, right? But one of the major problem is without assessing whether if you're on a healthy drawdown or in a toxic drawdown, and you just randomly reduce your risk, you're doubling or you're tripling or quadrupling the effort to climb out of the drawdown. That's something you have to consider as well. And you see, imagine today let's say you are taking a prop firm challenge. I know many of you, you're trading prop firm evaluation, whether if it's on futures, crypto. Nowadays, we even have crypto prop firms or FX prop firms. Let me ask all of you, let's say today if you're on a 9% drawdown, then some of you will say, should I reduce my risk per trade to 0.2% so I can get out of the drawdown and I reduce my risk? To me, you're just wasting your time. All right. Sometimes when you're in such a deep drawdown on the prop firm evaluation, based on your preference, again, for me personally, I much prefer to say I'm going to trade as usual. I risk 1%, risk 1%, risk half a percent, risk half a percent. Trade as usual. If something really goes wrong with the account, just let it be. Instead of you, spending all of your energy, taking 1, 2 months trying to recover the account, to me personally, time is an opportunity cost as well. So I'm not sure about your situation, Baldwin, but when I'm in a drawdown, if I identify that it's a healthy drawdown, it's a regular drawdown, nothing's wrong with my trading system, nothing's wrong. I have not taken anything outside of my game plan. I'll just risk 1% as usual. Just trade. All right. And what Baldwin is also asking is taking small R. Why would you take small R? When you're on a drawdown, just follow the setup. If the setup has a 3R potential, why take 1R? And let me tell you, if let's say you're on a 10% drawdown, for example, I'm going to take 10 1R trade in order for you to climb out of the drawdown. Does it make sense? Sometimes drawdown seems big because you're so into that moment. You're so into the fact that, oh, I'm in such a big headaches. But when you really zoom out a little bit, if you have two trade, 4R each, 3R each, you're out of the drawdown. You understand, Baldwin? So when you're on a drawdown, you don't have to aim for those insane, really crazy rich reward. Just trade as usual. Right? What kind of TP you normally have, just let it be. Right? Just let it be. If you want to grab 1R, do you know how many winning trades you need in order to climb out of the drawdown? What if you have a 50% win rate? 1R win, 1R loss, 1R win, 1R loss. A month later, you'll see yourself still be in the same position. What's the chance of you winning 10 1R trades in a row? Very slim, unless you don't have a stop loss. Yeah. So Sharon said, this is so applicable to me right now. I'm glad Neil is talking about it. Yeah. All right. So question, how long should I give myself if I'm in a drawdown? What do you mean by how long should you give yourself? I don't like a time frame wise. What do you mean by that? There's no way you can control the drawdown as well. You can't tell, oh, I'm in a drawdown for half a month. Yeah, you can't predict how long the drawdown would be. Like all of you know, from mid-August to late September, I was in a 1.5 month drawdown. Would I know I would get into a 1.5 month drawdown? No one know. Yeah. So I don't know how to answer this question, but yeah, what I would say is just when you're in a drawdown, just take things slower, right? Most of the time we get into a drawdown, we have the mentality of let me quickly get out of the headaches, let me climb out of it. But you neglected the fact that a drawdown is just part of the game. Yeah, so don't have to be so emotional about it. If you were to have so much emotion attached to drawdown, let me tell you, every single year you'll be depressed for a few months. All of you agree? If you've been in the market for a good few years, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years, every year you have drawdowns. All right. Sometimes Horace will agree as well. Horace been trading for some time. Eric been trading for some time. Most of them here, those profitable ones, they've been in the market for some time, and they've come to a phase where they completely accept drawdown. They embrace it. If you are really a good trader, let me tell you, when you get into a drawdown, you get that a different feeling. It's like, oh, you're fighting. Imagine yourself playing video games, right? You won't win every time. In order to get to the ultimate equipment, the best equipment, you need to climb a level up, right? And there'll be certain level where you just couldn't crack it, right? You just couldn't break the level. You couldn't complete the task, and you have to sort of fight the boss. You die, reset, die, reset, die, reset. And dealing with drawdown is the same thing. You're just trying to find solution. Let's say today you're on a 3R drawdown, and a good trader would try to find ways to overcome drawdown to keep finding solution. Oh, I take a trade. It's still a loss. Still a loss. What's the problem? Let me fix it. Is it because of my risk management? Is it because of my entry model being too aggressive? Is it because of me being impatient? A good trader are a problem solver. They'll simply just try to sit down and really ask themselves, what's the problem here? But a struggling trader or inconsistent trader, when they face a drawdown, there's a few things. They'll do some funny thing. First thing is you start being stressed. You are so nervous. Some And some traders, when they go into like 4 or 5 hour drawdown, they cannot even see the chart. They feel so stressful. They are just completely they're just sweating. All right. And some traders, when they go into a drawdown, they quickly have the fight or flight system. They activated the fight or flight system. They want to fight the market. All right. Some of them they run away, while some of them they just sit in front of a chart, knowing that the equipment is not good yet. Knowing they know that no matter how they keep trying to fight the boss, they will still eventually die because maybe the boss is level 100, you're just level 50. It's the same thing. Like trading is just the same thing. Once you start seeing trading as a problem solving game, then you will see things with a much better clarity. Like when some things go wrong, you just ask yourself, what went wrong? How can I fix it? If you cannot fix it, take a step back. Don't trade so actively. Observe the market more. Sarah said, maybe you can go back to demo trading. Once you find back some momentum, can move back to your prop account. Yeah, it's possible as well. But to me, I much more prefer when something goes wrong with your, if let's say you feel like you're in such a bad position, not as in you lose a lot of money, of course. Don't tell me you lose 80% of your account, then you say, oh, I'm stressed. Of course you're stressed. You lose almost all your money. But if let's say you're undergoing like 5% drawdown, even 10% drawdown, these are things that can be easily shifted. They can be, rescued by just one good move. Like maybe it's your entry model, maybe it's your trade management, maybe you're expecting too much. Because I see many traders when they go into drawdown, their risk reward is massive. Like some of them they aim for 1 to 10, 1 to 15. Like you will start seeing them do this. Like they're so hoping that that one trade will rescue everything. But they need forget the fact that, sounds that's not the way they trade. So to have the ability to trade as usual when you're on a drawdown, that's a different level. Okay. So instead of demo trading, I'll say if you feel like it's unhealthy, your psychology, your mindset, everything's affected, then downsize. Okay. Um, so Jeffrey said, how do you react to certain circumstances is based on your thought process, correct? And there's a saying that you cannot control your emotion, but you can control the way you react to your emotion. Let's say today, as I say, some traders, when they get emotional, they start doing stupid things. Some of them, they take a knife and just start cutting their arms. Right? But some traders, when they get emotional, what they do is just they know how to sit down and think. They try to really reflect and review the performance. So you just need to be the most composed one as a trader and not do stupid things. No one force you to take any trade as well. Like sometimes when some of you come to me and say, I'm in such a bad drawdown, what should I do? I lost 10 trades in a row. Did anyone ask you to take 10 trade? No one asked you to. The scariest part about traders being in a drawdown is they consciously get into the drawdown knowing that the more they trade, the more likely they're going to lose money. That's the scariest part about any trader is you voluntarily burn your money, but you act like you're the victim. It's like the market is a bully. It's like the market is really beating you hard. But in actual, if you are a bystander standing there, you see yourself like this. You're just clicking the buttons. And previously, I also talked about this as well. If you don't want to be a gambler, the best way is imagine you standing beside yourself. Imagine right now you're sitting here right, at your desk, or if you're on your phone. The most dangerous thing is when you keep abusing the convenience of using your phone to execute trade. You look at the phone chart and you start clicking the buy and sell button. No way you can analyze the market properly by looking at your MT4 app, right? Just imagine today you're sitting here on your desk, or if you're looking on your chart, imagine you stand beside you and watch yourself. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of trader do you want to be? Some trader, the way they look at the chart is like they're at the casino pulling the poker machine side. They just keep pulling like non-stop. They have no plan, nothing. You just put in the coin and or you just top up with your credit card. You just do that. So, um, yeah, like what Jeff say is based on your own thought process. If you want to change how do you feel about something, you need to change your thoughts about it. Yes. So here come Jeff become the psychology coach. Yeah, correct. So Sharon said, could you touch on confidence when in deep drawdown? Is it to build it? Back testing can only help you that far. Confidence is more to do you really know what you're doing or not? And that's why I said this a lot of times as well. Not every individual are meant to trade the financial market. As much as all of you are paid to be here in our trade club, I'll still be completely honest. A few years later, maybe some of you won't be trading the market anymore. And that's the reality of trading. Some of you, probably a few years later, you'll feel like it's not meant for me. But while you are still trading, you have to ask yourself, are you really doing your best or not? Are you really, the approaching the market with the best version of yourself or not? If you keep gambling for a few years and few years later you decide to give up, why not you just give up right now? All right, that's a lot of things you have to think about as a trader. So don't waste your time. If you keep gambling, and as much as I do all these trades review for all of you, do run all these group meeting, all these lessons. If you just keep gambling, you don't listen to my advice, then it's all up to you. That's all something that I'll say. Not everyone's meant to be a trader. I'm not saying this to disappoint all of you, but if you want to become a good trader, you better think about it. What kind of person do you want to become? What kind of trader are you trying to be? So Ryan said, apart from price position, it's important to consider mental position too. Yeah. I noticed that when my mental position is bad, tired, a bad day at work, I don't trade well. Correct. Eric said, I think I can relate to that situation. When in drawdown, while not good at trading yet, it's very difficult to see the way out. Yes, exactly. So Baldwin, maybe right now you can stick as a group taking trades that are discussed right now until you're confident to take trades on your own. Yeah, possibly as well. And I said this before, whether if you want to copy my trade or anyone else trade, it's fine. All right. It's not like we're not a signal group, but as long as you really try to understand the thought process behind the trades that I call, Eric call, anyone else call, Michael call, Nadil call, whatever, if you know the thought process, it's okay. Okay. So we are 1 hour in. That's it for today's group meeting. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow. All right. So nice topic. And thanks to all of you for joining today's session. All right. Bye-bye.